Let's take a look back on the 10th episode of the Morning POV.
Travel to and from Metro Manila shall be suspended beginning March 15, 2020 and to end on April 14, 2020.
Okay, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house.
Hi, everything!
Bored in the motherfucking house
Ma'am,
bored in the house.
mga ano nga lang, ma'am, yung mga 1 week lang yan.
Si Lynn naman, maraming alcohol din ang binili matapos marinig sa balita ang pagdami ng kaso ng nagka-COVID-19.
But still, I apologize to MNC for being in the hospital on the evening of March 24, 2020.
Hindi nga, kasama nga, gulo ka usap. Akasabi ko lang lahat nga kasama eh.
In a statement Wednesday, Sina said what happened was a traditional manyanita given to him by his men and some officers.
Dapat kumilos tayo. Dapat magsalita tayo. Dapat ang lahat ng mga kaparinig ko, only na wala sa atin.
Sa classroom may batas. Bawal lumabas o bawal lumabas. Pero pag sinabing pag nasa bahay ang mga pasyente, no, dahil nasa kakulangan ng mga kama o mga kwarto sa ating mga ospital, sa isang bahay, maaaring 3-4 ang pamilya na nakatira doon.
See you live on Facebook tomorrow at 10 a.m. Last Wednesday on the Morning POV.
In that 2007 law, one of the criticism was it did not really define sanctions on planning, conspiring to commit terrorism. What it heavily defines are actual crimes committed already. And what makes it equally controversial, it's not applicable only now to acts of terrorism committed, but it also defines strictly threat to commit terrorism, threat or And I think that's where a lot of the concerns are coming from. Who would be defining what would be considered threats to terrorism?
There's the other side of it that I'm hoping will be the punctuation in this bill, no? It shall not include advocacy protest, dissent, stoppage of work, industrial or mass action, and other similar exercises of civil and political rights, which are not intended to cause death or serious physical harm to a person, to endanger a person's life, or to create a serious risk to public safety. It's there. So I am hoping and hope that this is going to be implemented well by the authorities.
But you see, a law like this actually requires that the system is infallible and impartial. That's one. Cabinet members serve at the pleasure of the president. They are not impartial. They are not. Number two, guys, remember, and we spoke about this, all warrants, even the tagging, whether a person is a terrorist or not, can only come from the judicial branch of the government because they are objective, they are supposed to be impartial. This law will allow tagging, right, by people in the executive branch.
See you on Facebook at 10 a.m.
Hello.
Hello.
Monday. Welcome to our 10th episode, our season finale as we call it. This is your anti-ignorance BFF, MD.
And your happiness advocate now wearing a maroon hat, Len.
And good morning, everyone. This is your resident Maldita. Welcome to the 10th episode of the Morning POV.
Yes.
Wow. Such a milestone, right? So guys, please continue to share this episode on your respective pages. And if you have groups that you're part of, please share on those groups as well. We will continue to have the raffle today. So those who are actually sharing will get to win, will get to participate in our end of show raffle and get to win a special token from us. So as we mentioned, today is the 10th episode. Like I said, we didn't really think that we would get to 10. No. Our goal at that time was just to do something to help people get over quarantine a bit more easily, right? By distracting them or providing them new information. But now that we're at our 10th episode, it's changed a lot, no, MD and Len? It's changed.
Yes.
Super.
Life changing po. It's actually a life changing initiative for me because we always do this, but the MPOV brought a lot of new discipline in my new normal life, like waking up very early, taking a bath early,
I know, the
scheduling
taking
it
a bath
properly.
early.
Yeah, and being really very well informed. Like when we go out there and I've seen all of the people really waiting for us to talk about hot issues and really gaining information from us. So meron tayong napakalaking responsibility to make sure that the information that we give them is infallible. Sabi nga ni Jean, very, very well researched. Like you've seen the previous post, how much time we devote researching information before we actually speak on the show. Yun.
Ako naman, I became more disciplined in posting in Facebook too because before, I was too harsh and aggressive whenever I post my opinions on the matter. Pero ngayon, I'm trying to be objective whenever I can.
Nicer.
Nicer, and also I'm trying to balance or weigh the either sides of the equation para I could present a reasonable view for my friends who are also monitoring Facebook. So I mean, this is a good bi-weekly exercise for us. Plus the fact na nakaka-shower tayo ng maaga every Sunday.
Yun nga.
Diba? Ang aga. And
Wednesday.
we would want to thank you guys, our kalembangers. When we were conceptualizing all of this, we were just, imagining Chica. But you know what? You guys actually challenged us to put in our best and bring our A game to each episode because you guys, honestly, your comments, your statements whenever we have TMPOV questions, the way that you respond, we were like, oh my God, thesis defense. So,
Nakaka-intimidate minsan, di ba?
Nakaka-intimidate yung mga friends natin. So, our Kalembangers, thank you so much for being with us until the 10th episode. We don't know pa what's going to happen on the 11th, but for sure, right? This episode is going to be packed. Right, Len?
Yep.
And before we proceed with our main segment for the day, and thank you, Jean, for recapping our milestone, no? We will just go over some TMPOV bulletin because what we noticed, this is not carrying our own bangko, no? We cover them in TMPOV before they become hot items in our mainstream. For example, last week, if you remember, we were talking about the anti-terror bill, and at that time, hindi pa siya fully pasado ng ating Kongreso. But as of last week, the House of Representatives already passed the anti-terrorism bill, which is an amendment to the Human Security Act of 2007. It is now, it was already sent to the desk of our president for either veto or recommended amendment or signature. So this could be a law in the next few days. And then we promise our friends to talk about ABS-CBN franchise in details, no, in one full episode. But we made a collective decision not to proceed yet because hindi pa tapos ang hearing sa Kongreso, right? It's still ongoing. And what we don't want to do is what mainstream media is actually doing, where they're copying and pasting tidbits of arguments from the pro and anti-ABS-CBN. And we want to be more rational in covering it. So we'll wait for all of the sides to be presented in the House of Representatives before we even cover it in one full episode. So that's it for our short TMPOV bulletin for the day. Len?
Yep, and today, syempre, it's our 10th episode. By the way, baka nagtataka kayo why we have hats and, we're just, wala lang, paandar. Bakit ba? For our 10th, for the season ender. So, we actually yesterday posted the TMPOV question of the day. Share your top 10 kalembang-worthy people or events na nakapagpa-react sa inyo ngayong pandemya. So that is our topic for today, the 10 best pandemic hits and TMPOV hits, topics that we talked about. So I wanted to started with a comment from, ito favorite ko kasi nag-top 10 talaga siya. 5
I know, diba?
Oo,
Ayan na naman.
pandemic star. Ayan na naman sila. Top 10 pandemic star and top 10 most important issues. Ang nirank niya by importance eh. So, top 5 not important issues in this pandemic. Ganun niya ginawa. So, number 1 is ABS-CBN's NTC-CDO. Number 2 is Bawal Lumabas by Kim Chiu. Number 3 is Coco Martin, Dramatic Venting. Number 4 is Norman Mangusin, aka Francis Leo Marcos, Internet Antics and Arrest. And 5th is the DOH Francisco Duque, his lackluster performance affecting the president's supporters. The group of people is calling for his resignation and his leech-like image and holding to his position. Sa kanya, ito yung top 5 walang kakwenta-kwentang issues. Now, let's go to the top 5 important issues tackled or being tackled in this pandemic. First is Congressman Marcoleta's scrutiny of the ABS-CBN franchise renewal. Favorite ko rin yan. Number 2 is the creation of IATF or the Interagency Task Force and its decisions of lockdown. Number 3 is the death of George Floyd and its impact to the U.S. political government, economy, and security, and possible the Philippines or other nations highly connected to the U.S. Number 4 is the passing of the anti-terror bill, which will help the government enforce the law to those who seek to spread hatred, death, and economic meltdown of the country. And the last is Michael Jordan's Last Dance. Awesome documentary. This is the one in Netflix, no? My husband's watching it. I haven't watched it, but I will. Bonus. Beautiful people who think anything they can say will be perfect and correct to the people who think and live in this pandemic. I love it. Thank you, Ross.
Buti na lang, we're beautiful and perfect and correct.
Correct.
So to our friends who are watching, you can also share your top 10 or kahit hindi nyo nabuuin yung 10, maybe your favorite pick, either personality or events na talagang nag-resonate during the lockdown period. And Len, would you like to share how we selected our top 10?
So para sa mga magko-comment, wala tayong criteria. It's up to you what is your top 10 or top sensation, top star. Sa amin, the way that we did it, so we're gonna give you our own version of the top 10 based on our previous episodes. Ang ginamit namin na category is number 1, what's their social relevance? So the impact to the nation and you know, how huge or how small that community that they affected with that issue. Ang second na ating criteria ay ang personal impact. So how it affected our personal lives, whether that's positively or negatively. Basta yung nag-elicit ng pinaka-passionate, pinaka-strong emotion sa atin. That's the personal impact. And last but not the least, we also consider the shelf life and the news cycle. How long it has been talked about in social media or in media sites. So once again, social relevance, the personal impact, and the shelf life and the news cycle of the particular issue. So magkasama to ha, either personality or news sensation. Right, MD?
And yes, we did overnight. We voted secretly. No, we did not coordinate. I was the tabulator. Len and Jean sent their votes. I also voted, and then we tabulated, and we came up with our top 10.
Yes. And so guys, if you guys want to see the scorecard, we have a scorecard. We are who we are.
Yep.
So if you guys want to see the validity and the integrity of our criteria, we will share them on the page as well. So I guess we can start with our top 10. So just to set context, guys, the top 10 will cover the day from the day that the lockdown was actually declared. So that's going to be March 12 because it took effect March 15. So anything that happened from March 12 onwards until today is part of the consideration for top 10. So our top 10 the first one, or actually
Ito na.
ranked number 10, is K-drama. Oh, huwag ka.
O, di ba? O, di ba? Kasama ba dito ang issue ni Eric Mati?
Yes, I think that was actually what spurred it higher. When Direct Eric Mati made the comment that arts and film and stories and series were actually going to die because of the proliferation of Korean novelas. At least the Filipino arts, cinemas, and series would actually die because of Korean novela. And that's when people started talking about the merits of a Korean novela, why it's more exciting, why people were more engaged in watching. So my personal favorites, is The World of the Married.
Sabi ko na
Guys,
sabi ko na.
pero guys, seriously, you have to watch it. Have you seen it? No.
I
Not
haven't
yet, pero I'm planning to. In fact, the lead actress won the Baeksang award in Korea. It's their Oscars, no? Oscars award in Korea.
Yeah, because of that, that trophy, I got really interested. I haven't really explored the creative art of the K-drama because I want to explore pa. Ang dami ko pang hindi napapanood na Pinoy movies, which syempre yung mga galing sa batikan director like Kaki Molina Garcia, yung mga ganyan naman. So yung the late Wenderama, even though there's comedy in there, maganda rin ang scripting niya. So I want to explore that, and I have to find time kasi nga napaka-hectic ng schedule natin, but I will. I promise you, Jean, I'll text you as soon as I watch the first episode.
Eric Mati's Gagamboy. It's definitely not Eric Mati's
No, I'm
Gagamboy.
not gonna go that direction.
I would just have to say, no, malayo siya. But from a social relevance perspective, I think everyone who's had access to Netflix or iFlix binged on one Korean novela or another. So the other one would be Crash Landing Onto You, Itaewon Class, so on and so forth. So
Ako talaga yung 1% ng population na wala pa talaga maski isa napapanood.
Actually, even you will be surprised, Len, ha? Marami akong favorites. And I am partial to the classics, Korean classics. I think they call it Haeguk. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it right. In fact, one of my favorite was recommended by a Davawen, a friend of yours in Davao. It's Six Flying Dragons. It's 50 episodes. I binge watch it for, I think, 7 days. Yun talagang 3 hours na lang. I mean, it's really it featured the foundation of Korea from the old days on how it developed into a monarchy, and then its writing system, and it's really good.
You should watch Mr. Sunshine. Oh, ayan. Wait.
Mr. Sunshine. Okay.
Anyway,
So
that's our topic, right? From a social relevance perspective, scoring high, personal impact for me, I enjoy it. Life cycle after The World of the Married, it kind of died down a bit, so it's sitting at number 10 for us.
Okay.
For us. Okay, let's go back to top 9, and I think maraming makaka-relate sa ating top 9, and they will probably ask bakit lang siya top 9. So our top 9 is no less than Kim Chu. Well, as you know, the Kim Chu thing started after the ABS-CBN shutdown, and it was popularized by that bawal lumabas rant where she tried to air her grievances on the ABS-CBN shutdown. She used an analogy, and then it became a hit. It turned into a TikTok. It turned into a full-on music, and I think last week she was in a popular radio station where she tried to sing it, no? And then, 257,000 plus dislikes.
Hindi na, nasa 500,000 already. Oo, 500,000 na MB.
500,000 dislikes.
Okay.
Yes.
So whether good or bad, Kim Chu made our quarantine life a little bit bearable by the entertainment factor, the drama, the telenovela. Alam niyo namang tayong mga Pilipino, mahilig sa drama, telenovela, and entertainment. So Kim Chu provided that for us with that bawal lumabas rant. And then I think it was followed by yung 360, no? That I didn't even bother to watch that anymore. Sabi ko, I could only take this bawal lumabas. And then after that,
May version 2 pa. May version 3 pa.
may version 2 pa. What do you think? Kim Chu ba deserves to be number 9?
Oo.
Oo. Hindi naman kasi siya talaga personally impacting eh.
Correct, no? Di ba the impact to our, meron
Hindi,
siyang social
doon siya
relevance
bumaba.
because you will learn that one thing from that experience na bago ka mag-live, bago ka magsalita, you have to be prepared. There's also lessons to be learned about how you come back from a very embarrassing situation. So may social relevance siya. Pero impact to personal lives, almost zero for me.
Siguro meron. Ako meron because
meron
definitely
sa personal
when
life
Kim Chu came out. Oh, I'll tell you why. Because when she came out there and said those stuff, and I said, kahit minsan alam mo sa utak mo yung sasabihin mo, we gotta prepare. So that's why we here in PMPOV, lahat kami, we have the gift of gab. I mean, I'm sure that you will all agree, lalo na itong dalawang kasama ko, bigyan mo sila ng topic, they can speak right away. But we don't do that. We don't go into the show with 5 minutes of preparation just to speak. Kasi sometimes, even if it's here, hindi siya lumalabas dito. And that's what I learned from Kim Chu. That, you know, before you go out there and say anything, you can be misquoted kasi. It's so easy to misquote people right now. And they won't be able to really understand what's going on in your head unless it comes out of your mouth. So that's why it has a personal impact to me.
I used to just, whenever I present, even in a business review, I don't write what I need to say. I mean, minememorize ko lang. Pero after that Kim Chu incident, I'm a little bit more extemporaneous. I use bullet points, I use guides, lista ko. So, yeah, you're right. Meron din siya kahit paanong personal impact because it will make you think. Shelf life, until ngayon pinag-uusapan siya. So, I think
our viewers are actually saying that she now owns the most disliked video on the Wish bus.
Seriously? Sa Wish, Si Jean kasi naiintindihan ko sa'yo.
And Abigail, Zita.
Naiintindihan ko kay Jean if probably wala siyang impact sa'yo because you're, you can actually, you used to be a broadcaster, so you can actually say what's on your head and be very, very, yung rhetoric, yung gift of rhetoric nasa iyo eh. Pero yung sa akin talaga parang, siguro ba may misinterpret pa ako. So, katulad nga ni MD sinasabi niya, we don't really normally write what we have to say. But right now, I'm doing that. It's been a practice ever since Kim Chu came out.
Sorry, I forgot. Another lesson is, I mentioned it already, no? How to turn around a negative experience, which she did naman, di ba? Naka-recover siya partly, which I hope na sinundan sana siya ni, who's that DJ?
Oh my God,
Yun. Although he's not part of our top 10.
Oh, wala siya sa ano.
Sana he followed what Kim Chu did, no? After that, try to recover from it. Hindi mag-BPS ng explanation. Then you blame people and then you accuse people of not researching just to get away with an embarrassing situation. At least Kim Chu owned it. She owned it. She turned it to a merchandise and a full-on song. So I hope that guy, I will not say his name, ang hirap niyang
anymore.
Right? Anyway, should we move on to our top 8?
Yeah.
Yes, our top 8 is also closely related to Kim Chu and Korean novelas because this actually exploded as soon as quarantine hit week 2. And we're talking about the TikTok phenomenon. And this is where you will find everyone who is anyone and no one actually doing videos of themselves. Sorry, I am part of the victims of this platform. Interestingly enough, during the pandemic itself, they actually added 6 billion subscribers at the height of the pandemic.
Wow.
So people were locked in. So I was part of the, what do you call that? Bandwagon. Nag-join kasi
Oo.
bored na, right?
Mm-mm.
And it was such a pleasant surprise to see so many talented people in the platform. When you join it, you sign up for the first time, you actually think that it's people passing time, but the amount of effort that they put in to actually come up with something unique that draws attention, it's something else, right? It's more
That's
than
right.
dancing. Even the video editings, these are awesome, right? But
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of it kept people sane, and that's why whenever, because you would go through the pages or you scroll through TikTok, right? And I remember somebody asked me before, or did not ask me, but told me, I'm Jologs now because I'm on TikTok. Well, first, Jologs naman talaga ako.
Eh, bakit
Right?
wala ako dyan? Eh,
Jologs
Jologs naman
naman
ako.
talaga
100%
ako.
certified ako.
Pero hey,
I'm
I,
Jologs
ako.
I wanna take a different angle on TikTok, no? We have a lot of Filipino friends, brothers and sisters who are a little bit annoyed with Chinese people as a result of the dispute within
Yes.
our country. Alam ba nila na ang TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, and because
Yes.
of the popularity of TikTok, they just made the company that owns TikTok a $100 billion valued company in trading. So,
Yun.
kung
Yeah. They bought, di ba? They bought.
nagko-comment kayo lagi about nationalism, about not supporting Chinese companies or product, tignan nyo kung may TikTok account kayo kasi yan right now ang one of, aside from Huawei, no, probably this is the number one Chinese branded product that is so popular nowadays, and it even pushed the overall net worth of the Chinese founder of TikTok, di ba? I'm not sure if everyone that
They actually wanted it very clear, right? That there is a different TikTok for China. And then the one that's globally recognized is the one that has a head office in the United States. So they're saying that the one that's globally known is the one that's in the US, right? Separately. But when they say that it's Jolog, man, people who are richer than all of us combined are actually on TikTok. Plus,
mga anak ni Manny Pacquiao.
And not even si Heart Evangelista, si Camilo, Bruce Willis is on TikTok, LeBron James is on TikTok. Like, if you hold dreams of actually having a conversation with your biggest crush or superstar idol, it can happen in TikTok. I think that's the popularity of it. That's why a lot of people clung to it throughout the quarantine period. It served as a distraction. It also served as an outlet for their creativity.
So
Jean, ako na naman yung
ako
na naman yung 1% ng population na naman ako na hindi pa nandyan, because I consciously avoid TikTok because I know that it's a, di ba, billion net worth na tong company na to ngayon. They bought Dub Smash, they bought the music copyrights, and when I think about it, maraming dance kasi dito, Jean, and I know myself I don't even have enough time right now to do everything that I'm planning to do. Lalagyan mo pa ng dancing doon, Diyos ko, feeling ko tataas lalo ang screen time ko, so I'm really consciously avoiding TikTok right now.
Ako, I just can't dance. I'm not in TikTok. So I'm also part of the 1%.
Ayaw. Yeah, okay, good.
Alam mo, napansin ko lang, in the top 10,
kakainin ako ng sistema.
Napunta sa akin, no?
Hindi. Ito talaga, alam ko yung sarili ko. I mean, lalamunin ako ng sistema ng K-drama, lalamunin din ako ng sistema ng TikTok, kaya iniiwasan ko yan. Anyway, enough about TikTok. Let's go to the number 7 na tayo, no? Lucky 7. Our 7th sensation ay walang iba kundi ang mga pasaway sa social media. And I'll put a little twist here, if you would allow me, let's ask the audience or our top fans and
Viewers.
our viewers right now to vote kung sino ang pinakapasaway para sa kanila. The likes of Sinyas, Pimentel, DJ Lunyo. Okay, that's Lunyo, MB, by the way. That's how you pronounce it. Villar, Coco Martin, and all the showbiz personalities na nakita natin na lumabas at talagang nakapag, what do you call that, alab ng, is that the right term? Naglagablab yung puso natin and made us
Either
react.
they inspired us to be better people, or they either
Pasaway.
emotions from
Yeah.
us, positive or otherwise. So sino yung nasa mapasaway list mo ulit?
Ako, so first of all, na ang kategorya na ito, I want to make sure that people understand ba't natin sila tinawag na pasaway. Because, all of us are trying to comply to these lockdown protocols, hindi lumalabas and all of that. And it really changed the way, we deal with our lives every day to the point na nasistress ka na. And some people actually affected it affected their mental health, right? So, tapos biglang makakakita ka, like Sinyas, my number one, by the way, Sinyas, because you see out there an authority who's supposed to uphold the law and who is the number one transgressor of law. Paano hindi ka, alam mo yun, hindi iinit yung dugo mo? So my number one is Sinyas, and perhaps para sa akin, si Villar ang pangalawa ko because, nasaktan ako sa middle class speech niya where sabi nga ni Rona dun sa comment niya, I read her comment on the TMPOV question. Saktan siya kasi walang pasaway sa atin sa pagbabayad ng tax. Pero yung comment na binigay niya, hindi tayo umaasa ngayon sa ayuda at hindi tayo qualified sa ayuda, but being middle class taxpayers, for her to say that really hurts because we are the number one contributor right now for why people probably are receiving the rightful supplements and the social amelioration programs. So those are my top, and of course, Pimentel. So Sinyas, Villar, and Pimentel are my top three. How about you guys?
Sinyas,
I'm
Pimentel.
MD, you are on mute.
Jean, what about you? Habang mag-charge ako dito.
Kung ano ng technical issue
Kasi
talaga. Okay, go.
Ako, mine is Sinyas and Pimentel. Actually, Pimentel takes the cake for me. The first time it happened when he came out, and the thing is, nobody was supposed to know about it until MMC called it out. So he's one, right? And then the other close second is Sinyas. And probably, actually, I'm leaning now for Sinyas to be number one because both of them don't even have the delicadeza to freaking resign. That's it. Gosh. Diba?
May kalembang ba tayo ngayon or wala? Kasi kanina pa tayo. Magkakalembang ba tayo, Jean, or wala?
No, we suspended.
Okay, suspended ang kalembang. Okay, go ahead, Jean. Go ahead.
So,
go ahead,
ito
Jean.
Pumapasok na yung mga stack rank nila, yung mga votes nila. So, we have one vote for Duque, one vote for Maris Racal. Grabe.
Yes,
si Maris Racal.
Maris Racal, let me share about Maris Racal na. She's a showbiz personality. Pumangalawa kay Kim Chiu because she's from Davao, my dear friend. She's from here. And then she bashed the president and the cabinet members and the way that we're dealing with, ang dami niyang sinabi. So nagalit sa kanya ang Region 11 dahil sa mga sinabi niya. Mm-hmm.
That's so different. And then we have votes for Cynthia Villar, Pimentel, and Sinyas. Thank you guys. Please keep your responses coming. So sino yung pinakapasaway? Please put them in the comments. We will tally them later on at the end of the show.
Ako,
okay, MD.
Definitely Pimentel is number one. Not a good example of a senator. And sila Pimentel kasi typically their history in the politics is sila lagi yung self-righteous eh. Sila na lang lagi ang may mga ginagawang
above the law.
Yeah, I don't want to call it above the law, but sila yung parang make-believe politicians na they have the best intentions in the country, ang linis, anti-this, anti-that. But that example of indiscretion and self-entitlement na nangyari
Yes.
sa Makati Medical Center is to
That's right.
disprove that they are really that they're good politicians. And it's the small things really that can show the true nature and character of a politician. Second, of course, General Sinias. Third, lahat ng mga beauty queen right now na nakikisawsaw sa issue na hindi man lang ina-explain ng
Yeah.
side nila. Kasi ako, I have very high standards for popular personalities na if you are trying to influence people with your stand or opinion, care to explain naman. Hindi lang yung puro hashtag. I don't like the hashtag culture na anti-X, Y, and Z and then you don't explain it. You are doing your followers disservice.
Service.
That's
true.
right. That's right. At good morning sa ating beauty queen na si Miss Cathy Ileto na nanonood ng
Hello!
live MD. May gusto ka bang sabihin na tinira mo yung mga beauty queens?
Well, Miss Cathy Ileto is a different kind of beauty queen, no? Charitable,
That's right.
smart, learned. So
News
hindi siya,
anchor.
yes, hindi
Nakaka-nervous.
siya
Kilala niyo
kasama.
si MD, Miss Kat.
Miss Cathy, si MD.
Okay, let's
Okay.
move on
Bawal
to
shout
our
out. Grabe, kalembang.
let's
Wala
move on to
tayong
our
kalembang.
let's move on to our number 6. Our number 6 is no less than ABS-CBN. Do I need to explain why ABS-CBN is one of our top 10? Parang almost every day na lang may issue si ABS-CBN, no? But if you could recall, it started with an order from the NTC asking them to stop operations because their franchise expired. And obviously, there are a lot of issues surrounding it. Yung mga pro and anti, meron silang mga seemingly valid arguments. Yung mga anti-ABS-CBN, they're attacking it on the legal aspect of it. Number one, ownership of the company. Totoo ba na ang kumpanya ay may parte na pag-aari ng mga foreigners? The PDR issue recently yung kay Gabby Lopez kasi he was found to have some citizenship issues. He's an American citizen by virtue of his birth, and he secured a US passport. And sabi nga nila, when you subscribe for a US passport, you are owing allegiance to the United States.
Yes.
Another issue is the perceived bias of ABS-CBN and how they meddle in politics. That's another issue. And then third, actually marami. Yung third, I will cap it with third, no? Yung paggamit nila ng frequency and how they sell yung multiple channels in one frequency, and how they are also into the cable business when they're also tapping into the free frequency.
Free
no?
airwaves, yep.
Yep, free airwaves. So yun yung mga legal issues against them, plus the tax, the number of employees. Sanga-sanga yan, kaya it really requires multiple congressional hearings to resolve it. And then the argument naman ng ABS-CBN, I know I am summarizing it, but nagbabayad naman daw sila ng tax. PDR daw is not really an indication na meron silang foreigners.
Foreign ownership. Correct.
Yeah, may foreign ownership sila, and Gabby Lopez is dual citizen, which a lot of Filipinos are. So technically, he can still be part
Yeah,
of
but they don't own media companies, no?
Yun nga eh. Right? And
Ay,
then,
nako.
Wala pang desisyon, Jean.
Wala pa.
Muna natin
and then they're claiming freedom of expression violation when in fact nakikita naman natin nakakapag-broadcast pa sila, right, in other medium. So what do you think? Dapat ba si ABS na nasa top 10 natin?
Oo. Ang hindi ko matanggap yung we're spending, when I listen to those hearing, no, 3 oras, tapos pangalawa lang yung issue ng Meralco at ng PPP. Alam mo yon, yung parang, di ba, there was one time that it was mentioned by the chair na, okay, we're still gonna talk about our Meralco issue here, so we have to finish the hearing at 1 p.m. Na parang, nauuna talaga ang ABS-CBN na hearing, and then we have a lot of issues in the nation that we need to talk about and needs congressional hearing na iisang tabi. Correct.
Napaka-entitled kasi. That's what's annoying about this
Gusto kong
whole
umalembang. Gusto kong umalembang, Med.
Ay, totoo naman eh. Di kanembang niyo ako. Totoo naman. Bakit? No, but the reality of it is the mere fact that they feel that people will no longer be informed if they go off air. What is that? Delusions of grandeur? Wala nang ibang channel?
They're even citing a figure. I think, is it 5
Oh,
million
yeah.
they're claiming na who lost access to public.
Remote locations.
Yeah.
Remote
Correct.
locations.
Walang radyo? Excuse me. That's
Internet.
what's annoying about this whole thing. Yung delusion nila na they're the only ones that provide information, accurate information at that. Na kailangan unahin sila over everything else. Over
That's
everything else.
Bago
right?
pa magbasag ng mga gamit si Jean, maybe we wanna move on to the next topic and our top 5 here. baka magbasag na.
Oo, so number 6 na, no? Or number 6?
Number 5.
Yeah. Number 5 na tayo.
Oo. So, contrary, unlike ABS-CBN, right, the feature of our top 5 is their selflessness. So, we're talking about the immortals, the people who continue to work, right, despite the threat to their personal health and their family's health. They continue to do their jobs. Our medical frontliners, our health workers or health professionals, our BPO folks, right? Even our Grab, Food Panda delivery drivers. These guys are the ultimate heroes. I think that's the only reason why we're all surviving the pandemic. It's because of people like them that continue to do what they are supposed to do despite the threat to their personal well-being. I think, that the fight song that came out, that embodies everything else
Dapat sila
what
yun.
we all want to say, right?
Exactly. I would call them my pandemic and economic heroes because, everybody's called to rise to the occasion. Ito yun, sila. They really rose to the occasion and marami pang ang bashers. I mean, imagine how really scary it is to go out there right now. And then, may mga stories, no? Like Grab drivers na pinaprank pa sila. Diba, babayaran nila. I mean, that's so, ipaprank lang pala, tapos pag i-deliver na sa kanila, nandiyan na yung food, biglang, sorry, experiment lang po. You have to imagine that these Grab drivers and Food Panda drivers already bought that, right? And it's just,
dapat yung mga inaaresto at yung old methodology of punishing, stoning them, not to death, pero it should be punished in a non-conventional way para matuto sila ng leksyon nila. I wanna add our peace and order frontliners like police, mga barangay tanod, mga LGU officials, and even mga security guards sa office, because again, whatever happens, we still need security in the office. Mga housekeeping din, no? I realize sa office talagang minsan natutulog na into makeshift facilities.
Hinihimatay na.
Just to be able to report for work.
If I may just add before...
At yung mga kailangan tularan, hindi tulad ng mga nagpapapansin lang at kung ano ang ginagawa sa social media, no?
If I may just add, no, I think I posted this in my personal account, no. So we should have to recognize them. Like pag nag-order ka ng food ngayon, actually there's an option there to buy food also for the service personnel. I really would challenge everyone na, 'di ba, lalo na sa work at home, wala naman tayong pamasahe, wala naman tayong allowance or baon, manong bigyan natin ng kahit tig 100 pesos na anything that we can buy for the driver. And then for jeepney drivers, instead of paying just the usual fare, maybe we can add like 20 pesos or kahit magkano yan. Barya will do if everybody will do it. If diba, little acts of kindness can go a long way. That's my challenge to everyone, for our viewers. Now we go. Eto na.
To our frontliners. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. Eto muna. Hats off sa kanilang lahat. So I'll put back my by the way, this is Jeline's hat na nagkasya sa akin.
My ears.
Okay. All right, your ears. I thought they're Maldita horns.
No, that will
Gee.
come at a different time.
Okay.
I'm saving
Happy
it for
happy
a
tayo
very
lahat.
special episode, guys. Char.
Okay. Yung very special na yon, sana on air pa tayo pag
Oo
nag
naman. Oo naman.
Anti-terrorism, remember, anti-terrorism law. Okay. So, that's our number 5. Nasa
Yes.
top 5 na tayo, guys. Our number 4. Our top 4 are the standout LGUs. Diba? Talking about, at itong standout na to, it doesn't necessarily have to be the best. It could also be the worst. So, ako ang mga favorite ko, no? Of course, hindi dahil sa pogi siya, but because Vico Soto of Pasig City, Yorme of Manila. I don't think that we ever talked about him, but Francis Zamora of San Juan City is also proving to be really effective in terms of crisis management. May top 5 ako dito. Abby Binay of Makati. Sige, magtaas kayo ng kilay, but I like her.
Pero maganda ang kilay ni Abby Binay. So, sorry
yes,
na lang.
yes. Abby Binay of Makati. These are the well-celebrated heroes of this pandemic kasi this is, when we talk about crisis management of leaders, no, nakita natin ang the best and the worst of them. This leaders' decision-making process became the footprint of other mayors, of other LGU leaders, that they emulated kung anong ginagawa, katulad ng mga mobile palengke ni Vico Soto, ang drone na he was the first one, I think, who implemented those drone machines to disinfect and the city of Pasig. Okay, so pag-usapan naman natin yung common sa kanilang lahat, no? They have the kumbaga ability to tweak. Di ba, nagpapalabas ng ang IATF ng guidelines. These are the protocols for this GCQ or ECQ or whatever. But these mayors don't take it and then just shove it up the ass of the citizens. What they do is tweak it so that it's still localized. Sorry about that. Sorry for my French. Nilo-localize nila depending on the needs of their local environment. So yun yung maganda eh. Tweaking is really the key. To the point that they're not afraid. Even Vico Soto, diba, his deployment and deputizing the tricycles and the jeepneys for the frontliners, he took courage to do that, even though, diba, nakasuhan siya and whatnot, but he proved to be the leader that can say, I will do anything and everything for my people as long as they need it. People first. That's what I'm gonna say about these leaders. Pero meron din tayong mga ikinaliligaya natin na yung mga ang daming memes sa mga I'm not gonna highlight them because they are the worst. I'm just gonna highlight them because of the memes that came out na ikiniligaya ng buhay ko. Mayors like Joy Belmonte of Quezon City. Ang saya-saya ko talaga sa
Inaayos pa niya yung loob bago lumabas. So, sa August pa daw siya mararamdaman. Okay,
yeah. How about your favorites, guys?
Ako, I have almost the same list, pero I wanna cite, kasi it's the people's opinion that really matter, no? A survey was conducted by Publicus Asia. This is a communication strategies company, no? Ito yung mga top 5 according to their survey. Why are we focusing on Metro Manila? Because obviously Metro Manila is the center of this entire
of the COVID pandemic.
Correct.
So sila yung may malaking population, sila yung may malaking iniintinding problem. So survey was conducted within Metro Manila, 1,000 residents responded. Ito yung mga mataas ang rating with their score. Valenzuela Mayor Rex Gatchalian, 92%. Vico Soto, 83%. Isko Moreno, 76%. Marikina Mayor Marcelino Chodoro, 69%.
Oh, yeah, how can I forget? Yep.
The mayor of your city. And then
mayor of my city.
Mayor Lino Cayetano. So this was conducted in...
Oh, my fellow varsity from, I'm not gonna mention the university, but I know Lino personally because he's a volleyball player before. Yeah.
So, and tama yung observation mo, Len, no? They have their own strategy in dealing with this. Hindi lang sila yung parang waiting for the national government to
correct. And what I like about them is they actually borrow from each other. There's no issue about, oh, this is not my idea, I won't do it. Right? You've
Yep.
seen how Mr. Gatchalian has actually tweaked the ideas of Vico Soto, right? Mass testing for Marikina was happening, and they were genuinely happy for the city. So that's true leadership kasi the ability for you to recognize the strength of other people, capitalize on that, even replicate that, and come together for a solution instead of pulling each other down and keeping each other safe, right? What I like about them is they're very public about, what they're
What
borrowing
they're
from
doing.
each other, what they're consulting with each other. So I think if only for that, right? 10 years from now, maybe politics in the Philippines will not be as bad. At least there will be some semblance of continuity, hopefully.
Tama.
Yeah.
So thank you for mentioning Marcy Teodoro. I just want to say that Marcy Teodoro are really taking best practices from Vico and Isko Ren, and he's very vocal about it. He posts that, he tweets that. But I also want to share with you ang pinaka maganda dun sa mayor namin sa Marikina, no, he's very connected with his people. During the time na nagkagulo-gulo yung, di ba, there's no centralized system where he can track all of the people na kailangan niyang bigyan ng SAP, no? He was so connected kasi he comes out even before pandemic na alam niya kung ano yung kasulok-sulukan ng Marikina na kailangan ng ayuda. So despite the list being so all over the place, he was really able to reach out to the people that needed it. And really do you see mga posts for Marikina that are negative, and most of them are really positive. Yun
Leia
lang.
Vanessa says, shout out to Baguio Mayor Magalo for being the model of COVID contact tracing. I think Baguio is also one of the first, actually, that was able to flatten the curve as well.
Baguio.
So yeah, Baguio. So I think they did a pretty good job considering how congested their city can also be, with a lot of outsiders from different regions converging with them. The fact that they were able to do something like that speaks volumes of the kind of leadership and citizens that they have in the
Yeah, madami pa, like in Pampanga, our governor Delta Pineda, no. One of the challenges right now is transportation. Ayaw pang mamasada ng mga drivers kasi nga naman ang daming mga requirements para makapasada, and the question of are they going to increase the fare considering the capacity restrictions and additional safety nets that needed to be applied. So ang ginawa nila sa provincial government of Pampanga, they've identified 500 drivers na bibigyan nila ng subsidy para makapasada na, and the purpose of this is to make sure na yung mga kailangan magtrabaho talagang makapaghanap na ng public transportation, because this is the number one challenge for workers right now, transportation, and any LGUs that could really help solve this problem of transportation would be my top pick of which LGU officials are really doing well in this time of crisis. So related to that, ayuda is our top 3. The word ayuda. I'm not even sure
all of us
before this.
Alam natin lahat, meaning.
Lahat. Parang napakalalim na salitang Filipino ang ayuda or subsidy or assistance, pero this is talk of the town in during the pandemic period. The question of how much, the question of where to get the money, and the question of who to give the ayuda, no? And there are some best practices we've seen across different local government units as well, and the approach of the national government. One obvious controversial issue dito sa ayuda is hindi ba bibigyan ng middle class? Diba?
Ouch. Natin si Cynthia Villar.
Ba natin si Senator Villar about it? So, this is probably in the long term, kasi I hope this pandemic does not happen again, or if it does, probably in the next century, no? It's a biggest lesson learned in the Philippines, where we need to finally have a centralized system of how we track people, identify people, hence the national ID system. Para the next crisis we face, kahit anumang klaseng ayuda, assistance, or even just very basic identification during checkpoints, no? Para magkaroon tayo talaga ng logical system. So, what do you think about ayuda or how ayuda was distributed in the Philippines? Patas ba or merong area of improvement?
Maraming area of improvement. I think we talked about that several times in our previous episodes where you said about the centralized system now. It's very important that we have that. But other than that, it's really how people are until right now no nasa na ang pera. Tinatanong pa rin nila kung nasaan ang bilyones na budget na yan. And people has never stopped talking about that. Records are public, guys. Records are public. And don't expect that it can be put out there in Facebook. 270 billion, mailalagay natin sa Facebook. Ang haba niyan. Hanap-hanap din tayo ng tamang records.
Sorry to cut you off. I almost called out and publicly shame a good-looking person in Facebook, no? Meron siyang pinost na sabi niya, asaan na ang pera ng COVID?
Diba?
And then,
ano ba?
I responded to him privately to say it's actually public and the government is sending a report to Congress weekly.
Exactly.
Ang sagot pa naman niya sa akin,
ayaw niyang basahin.
Hindi, ang sabi niya, it's my personal opinion. So kung may opinion ka about the government, it's yours. Kanya ka sa akin. Ang sinabi ko sa kanya, it's actually not an opinion. It's actually not an opinion. It's news and it's public information.
Oh my God.
I just answered your question. Asaan ang COVID money? I led you where to find it and sabi mo, opinion mo yon. So, doon ang I know it's digressing to the point.
And I know you're passionate about it.
What you think about a fact. Hindi yung gumagawa ka ng opinion thinking it's a fact. No?
Correct. Anti-Ignorance Act for 2020, anti-terrorism, and then the next one is anti-ignorance act, and we are going to sign up for it, right?
Remember, we discussed this in our previous episode. Nakalimutan ko na yung ating statistics per family. If we do it per capita, ang budget lang ng government is what? 200 pesos per
250 pesos, 250. But per family,
akala mo naman pagkalaki-laki ka. Correct,
okay.
Kasi nahanap. Ba yan? Anyway.
Pero kasi I think, yeah, go ahead, Emily.
Go ahead, Jane.
No, because what I'm saying is this ayuda thing was actually endorsed to the LGU, right, and the barangays. The thing about that is we've never paid attention to our barangay elections. We took all of those for granted.
Yeah.
And now we get the people that we deserve, right? The people who took these elections seriously are the ones that are actually reaping the benefits of the proper distribution of amelioration. Not perfect, but at least people got something. But there are those that got absolutely nothing except, rumors of corruption. Diba? There's a story about it being 8,000 and then 5,000. By the time it gets to the family, it's cans of sardines and a plastic bag of rice.
Alam mo, our Congress needs to pass a law, no? Na lahat ng mga nag-corrupt, nangurakot during this time of COVID, they should all be executed. We don't need those kinds of
executed. Executed is a strong word.
Sige,
ito ang dala ng MacBook.
Ganito business as usual, normal day. Not only barred. There's always a way to run for office.
Correct.
Yes. So, normal day, sige, mangurakot ka, tanggap na namin yan na nangyayari ang corruption. Pero, may mga nagugutom na Filipino, may mga naghihirap na Filipino, may mga namamatay. If makapag-isip ka pa ng way to steal people's money during this time of crisis, you should be shot in the head in Luneta. I'm sorry.
Kalemba.
Ano meron kay MD ngayon? I can't imagine that this is the effects of MacBook Pro. MacBook Pro ba to?
Sumisilakbo. Grabe.
This is the time where kailangan ng konting konsensya ng mga politiko. I-resume nyo na lang ang pangungurakot nyo after this pandemic is over. And by the way, related to ayuda narinig nyo ba yung sinabi ng finance chief na in 2021, babawiin daw ng gobyerno ang subsidy through tax. At sino ang tatamaan ng tax?
Ouch,
Ang
Bidel.
hindi
Very
nabigyan.
Oh,
And this
that's
is
for a
not fake
different,
news,
that's
ha?
a different, ano. Let's talk about that on a different day, guys. Kasi Sunday ngayon. We don't want to be high blood. No?
Okay.
O sige, let's move on to number 2.
Let's transition to our top 2. We're nearing the top of the hour, if it's not the top of the hour already. Number 2, in terms of our pandemia hits, would be the actual quarantine. I think it was a series,
Of
different
course.
names, right? We had ECQ, and ECQ, GCQ, and GCQ, and different versions of that. And weekly, right? Regardless of what your stature is in life, whether you're rich, you're middle class, upper middle class, or you belong to the laylayan of the lipunan, you were impacted by this. And
The
that's why
lockdown.
it sits very high on our list, because it literally changed people's lives, even the way that we communicate, even the way that we use social media, how we spend money, how we prioritize and manage our time was actually impacted by this. So what are your thoughts on community quarantine sitting at number 2? Do you guys agree? I think there's no argument to that, no?
Oh, there's no argument to that. Ang ano dito is yung communication, 'di ba? We've talked about that several times in our episode, where we have a lot to say about how our IATF, our cabinet members are actually communicating this na nagkakagulo-gulo. Iba-iba ng interpretasyon, kaya sumabog sa social media. That's probably the number 1 sensation here. That's why it became the number 2. Maganda yung plano, sa execution sumasabog. Yun yung kung bakit siya talagang it really affected everyone. Right, MD?
Yep, sabi nga ni
Nakamute.
Jean.
Okay.
Yep, sabi nga ni Jean, this impacted everyone, not just mga mahihirap, even mayayaman. And I think in general, the concept of how it was envisioned, yung different layers of quarantine, it's the right approach, because you cannot apply the same quarantine restrictions in Metro Manila and then
One size fit all.
right? It's not one size fit all. Yung makikita mo lang talaga dito yung disiplina ng local government, how they implement it. Kasi doon nagkakatalo eh. Ang intention ng national government is APC, ang interpretation sa baba is EFG. Kaya doon tayo nagkaroon ng mga issues around this quarantine. But it was the right call. It was a tough call, but it's probably what saved a lot of people from this. And it's not yet done, pero so far, I think we're progressing in this crisis.
Oo, at 11 o'clock na. 11 o'clock na. So who better to talk about? Who better to talk about at the top of the hour but the man of the hour. So all of us unanimously voted because he became the undisputed top pandemic sensation for the 3 of us and for all of our episodes, no? I'm talking about no less than President Rodrigo Roa Duterte and his cabinet members. So every word that came out of his mouth, whether it's a privileged speech or it's a press conference, it's an official press conference, siya talaga yung the cuss words, siya talaga ang laman at talagang nag-alab ang mga puso na whatever his decision together with his cabinet members, of course, number 1, affected the lives of the entire nation. So sa social impact pa lang, ang taas na niya. Sa impact sa mga buhay natin, perfect 5. Perfect 5 talaga siya. At ang shelf life, definitely, until we are in this pandemic situation, definitely nandyan ang balita. There are a lot of news, no, and a lot of voting out there and poll and whatever survey. Ang ganda ng post ni MD sa personal account niya kasi sabi niya, isipin nyo nga sa lahat ng presidenteng nagdaan, if they were the ones handling this pandemic, what would have happened to us? And with that, thought, we would have to appreciate. There are so many things that we can say about the president. I wanna, sometimes gusto ko lang patayin yung TV ko. Sometimes gusto kong mag-advise sa mga advisors niya na please pwede patigilin niyo magsalita yung mamang yan. Marami akong ganun, pero doon na lang ako sa thought na, thought-provoking post ni MD. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that he's the president right now. There are so many things I don't want what he's doing. So many
Correct.
things. But
I'm public with my disgust of the president's foul mouth, and I am not really a fan of a lot of people, in his cabinet. I don't need to mention them, pero this is probably something na hindi natin naisip. He's the first president of our country to face a pandemic. The last Filipino official to face a pandemic is someone named Francis Burton Harrison. He's the military governor general of the Philippines back in 1918. His term of office was 1913 to 1921 when we are not yet an independent republic. So give the guy a chance to work it out. This is the time where we should not be perfectionists kasi isipin nyo, who's the alternative right now? Or isipin nyo, if it's right, if it is another guy managing this crisis, how would they do it? Maraming imperfections. All leaders right now, the perfect leaders that we thought in our, kahit yung mga sinabi nating perfect LGU, Vico, meron siyang opportunity, nag-iinit na ang ulo niya sometimes, at meron din siyang mga inconsistencies, no? But again, this is the time when isipin natin kung ano yung nagagawa nilang tama and then provide feedback versus just mocking them every day.
Correct. And I think a lot of remember the time when it was an issue why he was flying to Davao despite this, despite that. He's not following the lockdown protocol. Guys, our president is the number one frontliner. He is mandated and he can go and do that. He is frontliner number one. He is head of the Philippine military, which is supposed to guarantee security for the whole of the Philippines and not just Metro Manila. So let's give the guy some credit. I am not, a lot of people know I have always supported the president, but I've also been very vocal about
wala talaga
I
tayong
do not
kalembang
agree
today.
with.
My God.
Right?
Wala
There are
talaga
things
tayong
that I
kalembang
don't
today.
agree with. Oo, pero alam mo yun, what can we do at this time? Right? The right attitude for people is to work with what we have, do what we can, support, right, and help.
The president.
We can't achieve anything if we keep fault finding. Kasi sometimes fault find na lang eh. Para na lang may masabi. Pati yung mispronounce ng words. Come on.
Correct. Yes, Bisaya. Come on.
Diba? Parang let's get lower than that. So, yeah, I think he deserves to be number one. Parang napaka-prestigious ng list ng TMPOV, no?
I know, right?
So those are our top 10s. No, let's see what
ibasa
our
ko lang. Hold on,
yeah.
Ibasa ko lang yung comment. Ibasa talaga yung Tagalog ko, sorry ha. Jiao Jiao or How, I think he's the first time watching us, and he said, I remember praying for our president while I was in Clark when the lockdown started, and I was crying before the Lord to protect our president and our nation. Kawawa siguro tayo kung wala si Tatay Digong. So that's his comment there. And then let's read more comments here. While you're looking for comments, guys, I want to recap on our top 10. Number 10 is the K-drama. Number 9 is Kim Chu. Number 8 is the TikTok phenomenon. Number 7 ay ang mga pasaway na pagbobotohan natin kung sino ang pinakapasaway. Number 6 is the ABS-CBN shutdown. And for our top 5, number 5 are the immortals. I want to also mention here, Francis Lacuna mentioned, ang mga bank tellers din daw, ang mga nagtatrabaho sa bangko are also considered frontliners. Ang mga sa wage management office or yung mga nagpipick up ng ating mga waste sa mga bahay. So those are also considered as the frontliners. Mga immortal, so those are the immortals. Number 4 is the standout LGU leaders, both positive and negative. Top 3 is the ayuda topic. Top 2 is the lockdown, aka community quarantine, which is so closely related to our top 1, President Rodrigo Duterte and his cabinet members. Let's read the comments here.
Ronalyn said, perfect timing si PRRD. si God, Jude, nagsugo sa kanya to be the leader during this pandemic. Good comment, no?
Naintindihan mo ba yun? Si God
Partly,
nagsugo sa iya, ha?
Ito, if I
Hindi
read
mo
this,
alam
He
yun.
was sent
baka
by
i-criticize
God.
ako.
Sugod
Sabi nito,
sa iya, ha? Nikki,
Sugo is send.
ano? What is sugo? Sorry,
Send.
it's
Jean.
like sugo na.
Sugo.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was
Sugo.
sent by God to lead
That's
us.
Tagalog. I don't think that's what Rona meant. Sugo is Tagalog, but sugo.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sugo.
mamaya tatanungin
Sugo
natin.
sa iya.
Nikki,
Tama ba ako,
Nikki Cutie. Rona, paki-comment. Nikki Cutie, my sweet baby, Gapan, Pasig, Manila, Muntinlupa did dwell on the Ayuda system. Very good. Na-comment tayo. They commended us on wearing our head accessories. Thank you so much, Rowan, for recognizing that. And Miss Kathy Ileto also said, ang galing-galing, it's my first time to watch. Thank you, Miss Kathy, for that. Hats off, sabi ni Jen Diaz. Woot-woot, sabi niya.
Sabi ni Ron, tama ako. See? She
Tama?
says
Okay.
tama.
Sorry. Ross Daradar, Richard Gomez on 1 sack of rice for every family in Ormoc.
I think naging lang
Gano'n
si
kalaki?
Richard sa OFW. Na. Kung ano naman, full size.
Oo.
Sa.
At saka wag na siyang mag-paint. Wag na siya mag-paint. Anyway, ng 500,000 ang presyo. Charot. Joke lang. Most disliked, tama ka. Ang daming nag-comment sa atin na most disliked video in Wish Bus. Sorry. Can you still hear me, guys?
Picture mo.
Wala
Ayun.
sila.
Oo nga eh. I'm here. Okay. Can you still see me? And Ross Daradar, Coco Pimentel, not only stubborn, but still a carrier. General Sinas is his top 2. Number 3 is Villar. Number 4, Duque. Pero Duque yata nakalagay dito. 5 are the leftists. Sino kaya yung leftist ni...
NPA na taking advantage.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Roan says about 300 barangay officials are now facing charges due to the Ayuda issue.
Very good.
Meron doble-doble daw yung mga kamag-anak na nakakuha.
I know.
Wow.
Diba?
Wow. About 300 ka.
Okay, ang dami.
Jean.
So that's our 10th episode, no?
Ang saya!
Narenew na ba tayo for second season? Narenew na ba tayo?
May prangkisa pa ba tayo? Yun lang,
I think meron pa naman.
Baka kailangan ng congressional hearing para mag-grantan tayo ng prangkisa.
Oo. So sa dami nang nag-comment, no, we are going to have our kalembang comment. Sobrang dami. Mahirapan tayo mamili dito. Kalembang comment of the day. Please don't forget, no, we are still, of course, we still have the raffle. And we have 10 shares right now for our raffle. Ay, kasama pala tayong 3 dyan, ano? We will post it. Nag-share ako. Actually, meron pa yan. We have 71 comments on my, what I see right here. Ang dami. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the TNPOV show. Jean?
Yeah, so thank you guys again. It's always an interesting discussion with you. And the chismis is not the same without the kalembangers, no? Our goal is to always chismis responsibly. So we will try our best to come up or to be the first to figure out what's hot, what's not, and what you guys deserve to know accurately, right? So that you can formulate your own opinion. And as usual, if you have comments, suggestions, questions, or even reference articles, please post them on our page, right? Let's contribute. Let's make this an active group that spreads good vibes and right information.
And AJ actually asked if we already have a YouTube channel. Yes, we do. And we'll figure out within the next 48 hours how to transfer all the 10 episodes into our YouTube channel. So watch out for that in our page.
Yeah, plus our episode 11 will be simultaneously broadcast na in YouTube. It's not only available in video. so we can
Okay.
expand our reach, no?
Naka-MacBook Pro na kami.
Naka-MacBook.
Pinifigure out lang namin kung paano.
So thank you to our sponsors.
Wala pa tayong
Our own
sponsor. Wala
wallet.
pa tayo tatanggap. Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So, again, this is your anti-ignorance at medyo mainit ang ulo today, although nakasmile pa rin, MD, saying, Happy Sunday and see you on Wednesday at 10 a.m.
And I'm super, super happy for this episode at kitang-kita din nyo ngayon. Finally, I am your happiest advocate, Len.
Yep, and with 1 degree less of resident Maldita, my name is Jean. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We will see you on Wednesday on the Morning POV. Bye!
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Season 2. Thank you.
Bye!
Bye, MD.